I am ready to go ahead and put the front part of the tractor back together, and everything looks real good. We went ahead and readjusted our PTO clutch. All of them are all set the same, and the main clutch, they're all set the same too. So everything is ready. Surfaces are all cleaned up, all ready for new gaskets. Now, check this out. Here's the new gasket. Let me show you that. There it is. And I'll tell a little story about that. Freaks me out every time. There's the other gaskets back here. This is the transmission gasket. Transmission top gasket. So I walk into my local John Deere place near Abbeville, Louisiana, called Sunshine John Deere Tractor, and go up to the counter and I say, okay, I need I have a 1976 John Deere 4230. Could you please give me a housing gasket for the clutch housing to the engine, and a transmission to bell housing gasket, and a top cover gasket, all filter and for the engine and all filter for the transmission. And guy says, 1 second. He goes to the back, so I'm piddling around in the front, and he walks out with every single thing that I asked for on this 48-year-old John Deere. I am impressed every time I go in there. I had him look up parts for my transmission, in stock. I love it. All right, let's get to work. We're gonna get the gasket hung right there, and then we're gonna start putting it back together. Now, I'm not gonna put any gasket glue in the very beginning. I'm gonna make sure that I can stab it all the way before that gasket glue will dry. And I'm using a high temp RTV. They didn't have that back 48 years ago, but that's what we use these days. So let's get started. Okay, let's see what I can do. We got this big old gasket here. Put on. All right, now this is going to take me a while, so if you want to fast forward, go ahead. In fact, I might fast forward myself just to get a little bit ahead of the game, and once I get closer, I'll probably slow it back down for you. Let me go ahead and get this gasket on. We'll see what's happening, what it looks like. We're going to put it onto the back section first. It's got some 2 dowel pins right here to line it up. Let's see how that works. Put it on this dowel. There we go. A little piece of tape, temporarily, so I can get my stuff together. That tape ain't holding. Try again. Come on, you. Listen to me. Straighten up. Straighten up. Tape. Hey. Okay, there. We got one on. Oh. Alright, that didn't work. One greasy old tractor. Tape don't want to stick to it. That means I gotta wash it. There we go. Let's see what that does. Now, can you stay there, Mr. Tape? Just for a minute, please? Guys, I'm having a problem. I'm gonna have to MacGyver it. Yeah, we're gonna have to MacGyver it. Alright, let's see. What are we gonna do? Well, now we lost it. Goes like this. You recognize that? That's a Cajun accent from South Louisiana. The man in his tractor. I love my tractor. All right. What's the deal over here on this side? Now, please don't want to stick over here. What's up with that shit? Hey, did I mention to y'all I used to drive a tank? Yes, sir, Billy Bob. I was in the Army. Believe it or not, had some buddies of mine with me, made friends, lifetime friends with Army buddies. We had M42 Duster tanks, and I was driver and crew leader. My buddy Tom Mashoni, he was one of those drivers. And we had Craig the Carrier, we had Kenneth, Crazy Kenneth, Killer Kenneth. They call him the Killer. Well, Kenny wasn't in the Dusters, M42 Dusters with me. He was in something called a Vulcan. This is a badass gun that shoots 3,000 rounds per minute. And he would always try to get us in trouble with stuff. Anyway, we did a lot of shit with that guy, and we had a good time, and we still stay in contact today. So, Army buddies are buddies for life. Okay, gasket's gonna be holding just like that. I'm gonna see if I can get it a lot closer, line it up. Oh, I want to show you something that I found out. Okay, I got two shafts sticking out the front. You can see right here. So the oil pump shaft comes out from here, goes all the way to the back. This first one right here is the main shaft, and it turns inside the transmission. The transmission is in neutral. It's in neutral because if I can't line this up, well, without not having to turn the engine, I can reach into transmission and turn the shaft. Now there's an outer shaft, which is the PTO shaft. You hear that? I can go to the back and turn the PTO, and it will turn that shaft. So in order to get them lined up, I'm gonna get it close, and then I'm gonna tweak it a little bit and see if I can get it together. I'm actually probably gonna have to back it up just a little bit, run my RTV on both sides, and then button it up, and then we're gonna move on. All right, so here we go. We're gonna pause for a little while. Y'all come back and see me on the next part.
Your Bendix anything or for your starter, what do you think?
I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think so. I can still turn the flywheel with a screwdriver in there.
Okay.
This is Stephanie's overlooking my project. I can only get it to go 1/4 inch. As a 1/4 inch space, I'm not getting it to go all the way in, and we don't want to force it. We're just trying to figure out what's holding that last 1/4 inch. So I had to call for help, and we're fixing to pull it back apart if we can't figure this out. And mic everything and see what's holding that last 1/4 inch.
Beautiful tractor. I like it. The guy that formed our property had one for years.
I opened it back up about 1/2 inch, but it would go all the way to 1/4 inch. We can go that last 1/4 inch. I I'm using my truck and a ratchet strap to pull it forward if I need be. That's what I'm fixing to do next. I couldn't find anything binding it, Stefan.
I know, it's internal, that's what I keep just going, making sure.
Yeah.
Um,
The only thing I can think is the end of the shaft going into the flywheel and the bearing, so we'll have to check that out. All right, we'll get back with you in a few minutes. There we go. All righty. Well, we just got her back together, and this is my buddy Stefan Cribido, and I had a problem putting it back together. The tractor wasn't lining properly. I had it, how much?
Quarter of an inch.
Quarter of an inch off. So I called out my recruit help right here, and tell them how we got it together, how we made it fit, what we did.
Friendly persuasion. No, actually, it just takes two people to help keep it aligned and check each other's procedures out, and then we just more or less just jiggled it in place and made sure everything was aligned perfectly.
And we believe that the last quarter inch was the tip of the shaft fitting into the flywheel in there, and we think it was off just a teeny bit, and it just popped and went together. We pulled it back apart, took a lot of measurements, and we realigned it, put it back together really close, and started shaking it a little bit, and never forced it, never used any bolts, and you don't want to do that. It has to go together on its own. And we used come-alongs. We had one underneath on each side, like that, and I would pull mine, Stefan would pull his. We take measurements, finagle it, and at the final end, it just popped together. And that was it. So anyway, that'll be it for putting back together the front half of the John Deere 4230. And that is mating the engine, the separation, and the mating of it. We have a lot of detail if you're interested, and I hope it helps you like it. Well, I don't know if it helped me or not, but I know what it's like now, because I'm a first timer also, and I wanted to do it myself. Now, I wanted to mention this. If you're doing your transmission and you have a 4230 or something close to it, and it does not have the power shift transmission, you don't have to disconnect it here. It will disconnect directly at the transmission. So, my bad. Everything that I saw was you had to disconnect the engine from the bell housing, and only if you have the power shift. The power shift is a different clutch system, and it has two bolts behind the clutch into the bell housing that goes into the transmission. So if you don't have a power shift transmission, you don't have to disconnect it here. The good thing is that I did get it disconnected. I did find a broken bolt, and I was able to get that out and replace them all. The bolts holding the clutch on, and also the PTO levers were not adjusted properly, and I was able to readjust those and got that back. So I know that front section is 100%, and all I gotta do is hook everything back up, and hopefully we'll start on the transmission section. And if you'll be doing your transmission, go ahead and stick around for that. If you're just doing your clutch on the front half, looks like we're done, and I hope all of my videos help you. And that's it. We're out.